So we are going through every single shiny in Pokemon, every single one. Eventually, well, we got to start somewhere. So why don't we start with good old Generation One, right? Right. Well, I mean, like, I feel like this is an example of like definitely improved for sure with Charizard, and but I wouldn't necessarily say that that's the best shiny. Like, spoiler alert, best shiny is Rayquaza, but he wasn't originally this color. Like, that wasn't his originally shiny color. It was like a purple, if I recall correctly. Like, that would have been much, much worse. Oh man, the Weedle line is breaking ground in multiple ways. Wow. Because we know where the rest of the Weedle line is going too. Yep. It's just, ugh. That would be sick. That reminds me of Blue Beetle. Well, I feel like there were two classifications of Megas, either the really popular ones or the Pokemon that desperately needed a buff. And I feel like Beedrill falls in the latter category. Like, it's not, I wouldn't say that Beedrill is a very popular Pokemon on its own, but like, it's one of the Pokemon like, you know, Mega Mawile, Mega Kangaskhan. Oh, look at that! This is another example of the algorithm. Like, they have pretty much the same exact color palette, and like if you look at their base forms, they also have pretty similar. Like purple, yeah, interesting.
All right, so picking up where we left off, the Geodude line.
I think it's an improvement. It's like they're like little nuggets of gold instead of rock.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I feel like it definitely matches the aesthetic of being a shiny, and so I put improve because it's like this is what a shiny should do. It should feel distinct. It should feel special, and it should take something like it's like taking a rock and turning it into precious metal or a precious mineral. That sounds just very fitting for what a shiny should do.
Yeah,
it's like even
I feel like both of them should go up in the improved tier. All right, now Ponyta and Rapidash are pretty good. They're pretty good.
That's amazing. Honestly, I could argue, like, I know I was just talking about how Rapidash was like an example of Flames not looking great, but like in the non 3D games, the Flames look amazing. Honestly.
Yeah, it's more of like a problem with how some of these Pokemon transition to 3D than anything else, because Rapidash looking like the original Ghost Horse is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
And Ponyta, I feel like, is undoubtedly an improvement, because the blue flames make it more unique and stand out and look so much better with the lighter skin than the red does.
And like just blue flames in general, that's just like a very popular concept. And like it's just like, and blue flames are just known to be hotter, so it's just like essentially you have a more powerful Ponyta.
Yeah, and I mean they could have done the same thing with Rapidash, but I do like the direction they went with it being like already being like a unicorn, making it a ghost horse is pretty cool. Gotta say, I'm not a fan of how just stark yellow the color is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the 3D model and not necessarily. It probably looks better in 2D, but the 3D design of the shell tail just doesn't really work with the flat gold yellow color.
Yeah, I put it in.
It's especially prominent with Mega Slowbro. Because if you look at it, it's like that's already a pretty ugly design. But the fact that the yellow is now the centerpiece of it just makes it worse. So that's a definite downgrade in my opinion, unless you disagree.
Oh, agreed.
And then
I agree.
This one is also kind of a downgrade.
It's the same problem, even though it's less pronounced. It's still the same problem.
Yeah.
You're lucky you don't go in green tier.
Oh, and here's Magnemite that I was talking about. This is so good. This is so awesome. I love this color change.
Yes, it's a very fantastic monochrome color scheme.
Yeah, monochrome, and it's also like the idea of it's like metallic. It's another example of it looking gold.
That one's definitely a what even changed.
No, that's a downgrade. The pink just feels wrong for it.
True. Never mind. Putting it in downgrade. I guess the idea is that at least it's a C tier and it's not a D tier like its original shiny.
Yeah.
But that's just because it like barely eked out doing nothing.
That's rough when like doing nothing is actually better than like if doing nothing is better than what you're doing, you have a problem.
Yeah, at least you're not green tier. All right, moving on to Seal and Dugong.
shiny Alolan Grimer is the same color as regular Grimer, and the same thing for Muck. So I like how they switch, but the green is so ugly. And just like at least the green is counteracted on the other ones. I don't know. I like how so I actually put the Alolan Grimer and Alolan Muck in upgrades, and I put
okay, here's the reason why. So I agree with most of what you're saying. I do end up liking the original shinies a little bit though, because they fall into the same category as Psyduck, where they're very nostalgic looking and they look like they came out of the Game Boy games. And even though they are like slightly green, I don't feel like they're like bombastically green like most of the green tier is. And I feel like it works fine because it's sort of like a different color of Toxic Sludge, which is, you know, green. And I feel like that's at least puts them into the okay tier.
So then, wait, then why is shiny Alolan Grimer a downgrade?
Because the yellow looks worse on the pink, I feel. It looks like a sick Grimer. All right.
So we have a really weird... These next few shinies is going to be a
oh, we're going to be all over the place. Ghastly is actually pretty good.
Like
it's an improvement.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of wild. Like the colors just pop so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a slight reversal. Like it takes the color of its flames previously or whatever, the smoke around it, and makes that into its body, and then makes like the smoke into this different like it's like this cobalt kind of color, and I really like the combination.
Haunter I actually don't hate, honestly. It fits the ghost look and it is very similar, so I'd probably at least put it C tier, but it is not a horrible change. It's definitely better than a lot of other C tier Pokemon.
Right. But then, you know what? No, I'd say the blue mouth puts enough to put it in okay. Like the blue mouth
bottom
is
of okay,
distinct.
top of what even changed. Yeah, I agree.
It's like the blue mouth. Like I say that when you compare it to Gengar.
Yeah,
now,
we're not talking about its special forms, because if we're being honest, we're gonna put the Gigantamax and Megaforms in the improved tier at least, maybe even best.
If not in.
We'll come to that later, but we'll definitely be putting them as considerations for candidates of being in top tier. But yeah, regular Gengar is a definite C tier.
Like it's just, how did they...
It's the same... Okay, here's the thing though. It's the same thing as Haunter, but it's actually done worse because they didn't give it blue eyes.
And you can't change its mouth because it only has a smile. They were able to change Haunter's mouth, but you can't change Gengar's teeth.
Yeah, they're very very close though. They're very close, but like, because they changed even less than Haunter, you have to put it in C tier.
Ooh, Onyx. Onyx I like a lot. It's like the gold kind of...
Is it gold though? 3D definitely doesn't make it seem like it's gold to me. This is looking a little green. I'm getting green.
No, Kingler is green. Onyx is gold.
Okay, let's compare it to an actual gold Pokemon. Is that gold to you?
Ooh,
no.
Okay.
It's a green tier, but it's not green enough, so we'll put it in downgrade.
Okay. Now when you put that in context, I see the green now.
If only they went with the shiny form being the Crystal Onyx from the anime, that would have been so much better.
Yeah, why didn't they do that? I was gonna mention
because algorithm, I'm guessing. Yeah, but they didn't even retroactively save it, so who cares?
Okay, these are golden eggs, and that's just by that default, it goes in improved. Just
and then while we're here, Exeggutor.
No, Exeggutor.
It's a dead tree. Oh, no.
It's a dead burnt tree.
No.
So
why are all our shiny Pokemon sick? And not in the good way.
That's honestly true. Yeah, no, put both of these in downgrades. They're dying.
More green.
And
in fact, these next really 4 are all green.
Yeah. At least, okay, I feel like you can argue that Hitmonchan at least stands out here.
Because of the blue gloves?
Right.
Okay, so it's more of like an okay shiny, I guess. But that's the only thing that's saving it, because if you look at it, the outfit doesn't change. It's just the skin and the gloves.
Yep. But still, going from red to blue is enough to like distinguish most shinies that do that, I feel like.
Yeah. Being a ballerina boxer is a very weird occupation, but I respect it, so we'll keep it up there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why do you think it should go in downgrade? I feel like they changed enough of it, and it's like a decent enough color.
It just unsettles me. That
its tongue is like a real pink color.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, no. Think about it this way: the Lickitung body is one of those hard candies, and the tongue is from someone else that's trying to lick the candy. It's the camera. It's the camera.
Okay. I'm trying to wipe my brain from that image. Oh god.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about some good shinies.
Oh god.
Good shinies. Forget about Lickitung. We're talking about some good shinies now. Oh, speaking of green, Chansey.
Oh,
it's sick.
Yep, that's going in green for sure.
They gave the Chansey cancer. No.
Chancer.
Oh no. Oh.
This is actually a green that I like. This is one of the greens that I like. I feel like it fits. That's more of like a natural plant color than the weird blue, and so it's like an actual bush.
It's not Play-Doh anymore. It's actual moss.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I feel like that really should be the original color. So I actually think this is one of the few times where where
green is good.
Yeah, green is great.
That's sacrilege, but I agree. Let's move on. Staryu and Starmie. Okay, now these are actually some interesting sea creatures.
I hunted this. I hunted shiny Staryu. I have one. I got that in the sun. Honestly, one of my favorite shinies. Like, I love the change from, like, it looks like, it goes from just looking from a regular starfish to looking like some kind of artifact. And that's awesome.
I agree.
So,
and shiny Starmie, it looks even more alien, which is amazing. So it's definitely going up in the A tier.
Oh yeah, those are great. And like the blue gems fit perfectly for this.
Yep. And the colors complement Starmie especially well. Even though they didn't really change the body too much, you don't need to, because the focus should be on the gem and the part that's surrounding it. And even though these aren't colors that would pop out as much as like the yellow and red would, it's still a pretty iconic looking color. So we're definitely keeping it.
And the blue is like a lot. It's a more muted blue, which makes it seem like more almost natural. You know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like louder, brighter colors, it always feels like less. Like that's not something that would occur in nature, right?
True.
With a few exceptions. But like the more muted colors kind of give it a more realistic, in air quotes, appearance.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. Moving on. Mr. Mime. Okay, so here's the thing about psychic types moving forward. If they're already pink, they have a tendency to want to go green for some reason.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse them.
It's the algorithm, but at the same time, this is a clear downgrade. Maybe even green tier worthy.
No, it's green tier. It's definitely green tier.
Shiny Scyther. I swear, this thing wasn't green. Wasn't it shiny blue at some point?
No.
It was always just...
Here, those little, its joints change color. Like, that is such a lame change that it's so aggressively C tier, if not D tier.
Yeah, because the pink is worse than the yellow. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like an example of what I was talking about it being unnatural.
It looks like it has its arteries exposed.
Yeah, ooh. Oh, it really is mutated.
Ooh. Why are all our shiny Pokemon sick? I mean, that's closer to the original design, but it's still not that great. All right, Pincer. It's not a bad shiny. I'm surprised.
I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like it doesn't fit the... I actually do like its horns turning gold, though. That's a nice touch.
It kind of reminds me of Heracross, because this shiny would have existed at the same time Heracross did.
Oh, this honestly looks like... Yeah, it looks honestly Heracross inspired. The more I look at this, the more I like it.
It's definitely... I don't know if we can call it an improvement, maybe, but...
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's good. And the Mega Form is the same, because it's pretty much the same idea, so put it in there. Tauros, no. Not another one.
Welcome to the green. Oh god.
Oh,
When
so
in the green
disappointing.
is a very, very bad thing.
Now I can see why there was a fan game about like Pokemon Chernobyl, where everyone got radioactive because there's so many green Pokemon already.
But okay, I think if we just look at A tier right now, I think we can kind of already differentiate what's going to be going up and what's not.
Okay.
Like there's a very clear difference between some of these.
True,
Like,
true.
Charizard
Some of
goes
them
to
got
the
more
top,
love than others, it would seem.
Mega Gengar goes at the top. Gyarados and Magikarp. I could even, and I feel like the rest we could debate on. Although I would personally also put Magneton up there.
The black definitely helps.
But I guess would also mean you put Magnemite because it's the exact same design.
It's slightly more metallic. I think the triple kind of helps it. The triplicate helps.
And I feel like the rest could, like, I like the blue flame. I like the kind of ghost flame, but I don't necessarily think that means they go in S tier. You know?
Yeah, I feel like maybe
Like, I feel
Rapidash
like-
belongs in A, but Ponyta I could definitely see being in S tier.
Yeah, like blue flame. We don't really see a lot of blue flames, all things considered.
Yeah, not really. And when we do, they're kind of but it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think this is fine for now. It's different enough.
But it is different enough.
So that's an albino Eevee. It's a pretty good color, I'd say.
Yeah. And I feel like just Gigantamax Eevee in general just
It's
completely
very
pointless
fluffy,
Pokemon.
and I feel like the
And it's
fluffiness.
just pointless. It's just completely pointless.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're
Pikachu has
fine
my
when you're not
own
really
wicked-
fine, but you just
Okay, Porygon.
I like shiny Porygon.
It's a pretty cool
I think-
design.
It's a very good alternate. It's like a buggy version of regular Porygon.
Yeah,
It's like
it's the
what happens with,
vaporwave
like, the
version
color-
of Porygon, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
It's a very cool aesthetic going on. Okay, Ammonite and Omastar. They're in a similar vein as Vaporeon, I would say.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
It's kind of unfortunate because their defaults are pretty
worse-
amazing.
Yeah.
If they had gone and made them actually, you know what? This is actually one that would have made sense to make green because Omastar is in reference to War of the Worlds, and those aliens like had a very similar body shape, and it would have fit so much better to make them green than pink.
Oh, that would have made so much sense. Yeah, why did Kabuto and Kabutops get that?
Yeah,
Which
why are
one
okay?
would
But,
like that?
okay, here's the thing though.
Oh,
Kabuto's
God,
green is
so
much better than Kabutops. Kabutops is definite green tier, but Kabuto is
they're both
actually
green.
not that bad.
No,
It's an okay shiny. It's actually a decent green.
I think it's an unnatural green still. I
It
think that
is, but I
belongs
feel
with
like at the
Kabuto.
same time, if you think of it like a mossy rock, it's not that bad.
I guess.
It's a horseshoe crab with a lot of mold growing on it. All right, Snorlax, C tier.
Yep.
Easy C tier.
Honestly, also Articuno and Zapdos also go in C tier.
Yeah, they're very similar. Nothing too crazy.
Zapdos is
It's
just-
unfortunate that we
Zapdos
can't
is
put the
the most
Galarian
tier.
birds on this tier list because the idea of taking the Galarian forms and making them the original colors would instantly put
It's
them in A
amazing.
tier. But the fact that these shinies are barely different for these two just puts them straight into C tier.
Like, it would have been cool if they retroactively, like, inverted the colors and, like, gave the shiny versions of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres their Galarian colors. That would retroactively make these so much better.
Yeah.
Like, imagine...
Why does Charizard
Articuno's-
get all the love and he gets retroactively saved from his terrible shiny, but everything else gets left to die?
Not only that, he also gets retroactively saved in the competitive scene, too. from,
Multiple
like,
times
the
even. His base
spot.
stats were increased. Oof.
Yep.
Alright. Moltres.
Oh, Moltres.
Moltres was not left in the oven very long.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh my
definite
God, I can't
downgrade.
unsee that
It's
now.
an uncooked chicken. That's on
It's an
fire.
uncooked chicken.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
But I still think Dragonite goes in green too.
Hmm.
That
I know
I
Very quickly, obviously Mewtwo would go in green tier. But
I still think that Dragonite goes in green tier, man.
it's a distinct enough green. I want to make an excuse for it because it's a dragon, and when you think of dragon, one of the first colors you think of is green. And it's not just like a flat green like some of these. I guess you're getting back at me for putting Golbat in green tier, so you want me to put Dragonite in green tier too? But
it has to be in green tier.
It's green. Why isn't it in green tier?
okay, so we've already we've put the improved. We kind of decided what Pokemon should go from A tier into S tier. I don't think any of the new additions we made would change this, unless you have an argument you want to make.
Only one that could be argued are maybe Rapidash.
So it's okay. It's a mixed bag.
I actually really like
of the two Charizards. This one's definitely not as good as this one.
Right. I like the Staryu and Starmie line. Actually, I feel like that aesthetic is.
But like putting it next to these, it doesn't feel like it fits.
Oh, yeah.
It's still good. I'm not saying it's not an A tier shiny, but it doesn't feel like on the same level as these Titans.
Thoughts on putting Golden Caterpie in S tier?
You know what? I kind of like the idea. It's a pretty great shiny.
And it honestly fits because like Golden Magikarp is also there.
Yeah, true. But I would not put Execute in there because those golden eggs aren't as good. Yeah, or Geodude. It's not as good. I feel like it's more iconic to put the weakling Pokemon as a golden color than like something that's...
I could argue actually that Ninetales has an awesome shiny. I like the silver into blue. Like the blue tips really like accentuate that. I think that's a really cool aesthetic.
And you know what? Maybe we should put Alakazam up here too, the mega one.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Not even for the memes. I tried. I could stand to look at these in a battle for a decent period of time.
Although I really
all of these ones in green tier, if you stare at them too long, they start to hurt your eyes. You can't really put any of these into a tier lower than they already are. They're just too similar.
Right. Like that, like downgrade, unless it's like I can't think of a shiny off the top of my head that is so atrociously worse that like I would never want that shiny. I can't think of any off the top of my head that are that.
Yeah, like even if they're downgrades, you're still happy you got them as a shiny. A lot of the stuff in green tier, if you got this as your shiny, you would think, why did I even bother?
Well, Golbat and Zubat, but
it really depends on Crobat, though. That's the thing. You're not going to be seeing these guys for very long. They evolve pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. And do you know the? Maybe I shouldn't spoil shiny Crobat, but it's much better. Okay, you're gonna spoil it for yourself though.
It is much better. You're right.
It switches the green and the pink of the previous.
Makes
shiny.
you wonder why they didn't do that for these. I don't know if you can justify Sandshrew being green or Dotrio being green.
Oh yeah, why is Dotrio green? That's just so atrocious.
It's a shame. It's a
real
man,
shame. I'm looking at this next row for tomorrow for when we do the next video, and that's gonna be
It's gonna be rough because we still have to get through Gen 2 where they were mostly using the algorithm for a lot of these. And some of them are gonna walk away better. I'm curious to see how Gen 2 is gonna stack up, if we're going to have fewer green or if we're gonna have more green. Well, I'm pretty fine with how we have things here.
Yeah.
All right. Next time we'll be covering Gen 2 and we'll see how things shape up, right?
All right,
looking forward to it.